The Silent Promise. The first time Daniel saw Clara was in the university library. She was sitting by the window, sunlight pouring across her hair as she flipped through a worn poetry book. He never believed in love at first sight, but in that quiet moment, something inside him shifted. Daniel found excuses to sit nearby, pretending to study while sneaking glances at her. Weeks passed before he gathered the courage to speak. "You like Rilke?" he asked, pointing to the book in her hand. Clara looked up, smiled softly, and nodded. That smile stayed with him for days. Their conversations began timidly, about books, coffee, and the weather. But slowly, words turned into laughter, and laughter into long walks under the campus trees. Daniel learned that Clara loved the rain, that she dreamed of traveling to Florence, and that she feared silence because it reminded her of loneliness. One evening, after weeks of shared moments, they sat on the library steps watching the city lights flicker on. Clara leaned against his shoulder and whispered, "Do you think some people are meant to meet?" Daniel's heart raced. He didn't answer with words, he just took her hand. She didn't pull away. But life was rarely simple. Clara received a scholarship abroad. The night before her departure, Daniel walked her home. Neither of them spoke much, afraid of breaking the fragile moment. At her door, Clara's eyes glistened. "Promise me," she said softly, "that you won't forget this." "I couldn't," Daniel replied. "Even if I tried." They parted with a kiss that tasted of both beginning and farewell. Years passed. They wrote letters, then emails, then fewer words as time pulled them in different directions. Daniel often returned to the library, sitting by the same window where he first saw her. He read Rilke, hoping to feel close to her again. One rainy afternoon, as he was about to leave, he noticed someone standing in the doorway. It was Clara, her hair damp, her smile the same as years ago. She stepped closer, eyes searching his. "I came back," she whispered. Daniel's voice trembled, but his heart was steady. "I kept the promise." Clara smiled through tears. "So did I." And in the quiet of the library where it all began, silence no longer felt lonely, it felt like home. The bridge at dawn. The town was still half asleep when Emma walked across the old stone bridge. Mist hovered over the river, softening the edges of the world. She liked to come here before work, when everything was quiet and the day hadn't yet asked anything of her. But this morning was different. Someone was already there. A young man leaned on the railing, sketchbook open, his pencil moving quickly. His hair was messy, as though he had run out of the house the moment inspiration struck. Emma slowed her steps, curious. He noticed her and smiled. "Good morning," he said, his voice warm but a little shy. Emma nodded politely. "You're drawing?" He turned the sketchbook toward her. On the page was the very bridge they were standing on, captured with quick, confident strokes. It wasn't perfect, but it felt alive. "It's beautiful," she said without thinking. His ears turned pink. "Thanks. I come here whenever I need to clear my head. Something about the river helps me breathe again." Emma understood. She came for the same reason. For a moment they stood side by side, watching the water flow beneath them. It was strange how easy the silence felt. The man closed his sketchbook. "I'm Daniel, by the way." "Emma." She smiled, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. The days that followed fell into a pattern. Each morning, Emma found Daniel at the bridge, sketching with quiet concentration. At first, their conversations were light, about the weather, the town, the way the sunrise painted the sky. But slowly, the words deepened. He told her about his dream of becoming an artist, about the fear that kept him from showing his work. She told him about her love for books, how she worked at the library but sometimes felt invisible. Daniel started sketching her without asking, soft outlines in the corner of a page, then fuller portraits. The first time he showed her, Emma laughed in surprise. "I don't look like that." "You look exactly like that," he said. His gaze was steady, and something inside her shifted. One morning, the sky was painted in shades of gold. Emma leaned on the railing beside him, her heart racing with a question she had been too afraid to ask. "Why do you always draw here? Why not somewhere else?" Daniel hesitated, then met her eyes. "Because this is where I met you." The world seemed to still. Emma's breath caught, and for the first time, she reached for his hand. His fingers tightened around hers, warm and certain. The bridge at dawn had always been her place of solitude. Now, it was the place where two quiet souls had found each other, where the river carried away their loneliness, and left behind something far more lasting.